No, but this has come from experience.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is that over time, various administrations have done their best to address these issues. And whenever you give an information, if it's divulged by a policeman, you should be able to know who you gave the information to, and then the person will be dealt with accordingly. But what I'm saying is that it is not better to give information than to keep silence. Which is better? To give the information or to keep silent? It's better to share information with the police, with other agencies, and so on and so forth. So that everybody, we need a total and holistic approach to this issue.
The thing is this, is at the risk of life. If you're given information at the risk of your life, the police must be able to ensure that they earn the confidence of the people, to ensure that they give information and their lives are not at risk. Let's take an instance of kidnapping, for instance, in the southeast and the south, and maybe even in the southwest where, it's rife. Oftentimes, people say that when they have gone to the police to report, the kidnappers call them and say, "You went to the police, Abi?" You get information like that, and then people now ask, how did they know that I went to the police if they're not in the police or they don't have cooperators within the police? How much work would you say that the police is doing to ensure that they earn the confidence of the people?
Yes, that's why, for instance, the administration constituted now is trying to deepen community policing practice. A policeman that is just speaking, or I am an Isoko man, Isoko speaking, and it's in Borno, is of no use to the system. Because one, you will not be able to interact in the cultural language of the people. So what I think I should recommend now is for policemen who understand the language and the culture of the people to move towards those areas.
How does that help?
It helps because, one, there will be confidence. If I come to a Yoruba man and say, Abaoni, first of all, so you understand this language, you have won confidence and you have won his friendship.
You know what I'm thinking now? What comes to mind, I recall the Anini saga in the Delbenda state.
Yes, thank you. I was going there because
Pario Osande, it was when Pario Osande came that was so, and
that the game changed.
The game changed.
The game changed. Why did it change? Because people were willing to give support to the son of the soil, and that if I give a son of the soil gives you information is divulged, then you know who you gave the information and who divulged it. Secret intelligence or information given. So cultural policing deepens community policing because, well, like I said, 1986, that was the saga. And Nini was foraging and destroying and killing so many people, robbing banks and so on. What's the way forward? They had to get the commissioner of police who is from that community, Benin man, and he moved in within 1 month, thereabout. The saga ended, and the man, Nini, was arrested. He was quickly tried, speedy dispensation of justice, and executed. Well, what are we saying? All the people arrested so far for involvement in these Boko Haram issues, how many have gone to court? And if they go to court, what is the punishment for wanton destruction of life and property? A cursory review of the Terrorist Prevention Act showed to me that the maximum punishment for destruction to life and property, according to that act, is life imprisonment. Is that very deterrent enough?
But there's one part before they get verdicts or judgment from the courts, prosecution. The quality of job done. I mean, you talked about forensics. We watch on TV every time, and we see policemen who are supposed to be with the bomb squad handle bombs like that. And we ask ourselves, so where is all the training?
That's it. Training without equipment becomes no training. Because if there's a bomb that is about to explode, what they should do is to send a robot, not a man. A robot should move there and detonate. Do you understand? We had instances where, in the presence of detonation, the policeman, bomb expert, had to lose 2 of his arms amputated by the bomb. So killed and shattered to smithereens. So it's good to be scientific in approach to these things. It costs so much money, but it's worth the spending.
How many of the bomb units do we have? Do we have them in all 36 states?
Yes, when I assumed the commissionership of the bomb squad, I made sure that I began a total training of conventional policemen so that we can serve the interests of all the states of the Federation. So I expanded it. But now there should be more further expansion because the bomb squad is an elite corps as it is because it's very scientific. And so I am using this medium to appeal to the authorities and the police to recruit more hands into the bomb squad.
Let's go back to the justice system, delivery system. If we have to go back to 86, talking about the Anini saga, for those who were reading the dailies then, even the good old Observer newspaper, they were putting highlights of happenings in the law courts for that particular trial. And it didn't take long, and we saw an end to a closure to the matter. Yes. And you say Boko Haram suspects, you have an endless maybe matter, maybe people still being in detention. Look at what is happening in Anambra State. The indigents are complaining that there's an attempt to move some of these inmates to a Kulobi prison. So what is that thing that you think can be done with these, trial of suspects of Boko Haram members?
Well, I had the opportunity to go to a country like Cuba on educational studies while in the National Institute of Policy Strategic Studies and discovered that the Cuban government had a judicial system where each kind of crime is given a framework, a time frame for investigation, prosecution, and sentence. If it's like a case of murder, wanton destruction of lives, then within 3 months, justice is dispensed immediately.
There's a deadline.
Yeah, deadline. And any judge that does not meet that deadline will be excused from office. So crime and criminality is reduced to the barest minimum. Don't talk of the social welfare systems and so on. But that is not the issue. The issue is the National Assembly should now look at the laws and give a time frame to such cases. Like this case now, the cases we have now, should be quickly dispensed with and punishment meted to serve a deterrent. Because when they see that somebody who did X, Y, Z, murdered this, is taken to electric chair and executed in public glare, then people will be very careful not to begin involved.
Do you think that actually will deter a sect like Boko Haram?
Well, let me say yes to a large extent.
You think so?
Yes, very well, because they are human beings. We are all human beings. The only difference between their thinking sense, and their way of life is drug addiction and socialization process. So, drug addiction and then re-socialization process is what is causing the problem. So what we do is, people are talking about de-radicalization processes, yes, possible. For those who want to be de-radicalized, those who don't want to be de-radicalized should face the law and be punished. Let us see the punishment meted out, and let us see how many people will involve themselves in a practice of fighting a cause which they don't live to benefit. It doesn't make sense.
About let me bring in the Chibok girls' perspective. Now we know that many of the recent cases where the bombs are exploding are women, females. And then one wonders, the police anti-bomb also have a huge role here, because they would have thought that some sort of investigation, forensics, should have been carried out to see if there's any link whatsoever with the abducted Chibok girls. Yes,
you're quite correct. That's why, like I said, I discussed very deeply with the IG that there's a need to set up a force post-blast investigation squad that will be mobile enough to reach out to any place of blast to be able to do forensic analysis and post-blast investigation and make a report that will make public to members of the Nigerian citizenship. So what I'm trying to say is that, yes, they have men that are capable of doing that, and I believe that they're doing something about that. But we are going to deepen the practice and call in assistance from international community to train the men and make equipment available.